Welcome back to Green Cards for Me, but not for thee, Ted Cruz edition. While Teddy Cruz is currently starring in his own public humiliation, courtesy of Tucker Carlson of all people, let's talk about the other thing he doesn't want you to bring up, his immigration story. Teddy Cruz was born in Alberta, Canada in 1970. Yep, you heard that right, which makes him the first US senator to have been born there. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Teddy's father, Rafael Cruz, was a Cuban immigrant whose immigration story is far from by the book. Rafael fled Cuba at age 18 in 1957. How did he leave Cuba? A bribe. A lawyer friend of the family paid off a Cuban official in order to get an exit stamp on his passport, literally circumventing immigration rules before even entering. He entered the US on a 4-year student visa and enrolled at the University of Texas. And after his student visa expired, he remained in the country illegally, and then eventually applied for political asylum. Sound familiar? Well, it should, because his son Teddy now wants to ban that exact type of asylum claim. Rafael married a US citizen, and together they moved to Canada, which is where Teddy was born. In fact, Teddy didn't even renounce his Canadian citizenship until 2014. So when we look at Teddy's congressional voting record, which rails against anchor babies and birthright citizenship, it opposes DACA and supports Trump's border wall and family separation, just remember, he himself was born outside of the United States. His dad was an illegal alien, and his entire existence as a US citizen would not fly under the policies that he pushes today. Yeah, it's a little confusing. Let's talk about how Ted, who was actually born Rafael Edward Cruz, was born in Alberta, Canada, but can and did run for presidency of the United States. The short answer is that his mom was a US citizen. She was born in Delaware. And under current US law, if at least one parent is a citizen who meets certain residency requirements, then that child would be considered a natural-born US citizen, which is what the requirement is to run for presidency. But the thing is that Rafael, or Teddy, as I like to call him, didn't even renounce his Canadian citizenship until 2014, after people started digging in and asking him questions right before his campaign. And the only reason why he has US citizenship to begin with is because of birthright citizenship, something that he currently wants to repeal. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. Rafael from Alberta is trying to slam the door shut behind him. Welcome back to Green Cards for Me, but not for thee, where I expose the immigration hypocrisy by climbing deep into MAGA family trees. In the last video, we dug into Rafael, aka Ted Cruz. We also looked at his papa, also named Rafael Cruz. That is just the beginning, because what I didn't share with you is that after wringing every single drop out of the US immigration system, Cruz Sr. reinvented himself as a far-right religious pastor, and at one point had the audacity to call for Obama's deportation. No, I'm not joking, check this out.
Our work cut out for us. We need to send Barack Obama back to Chicago. I'd like to send him back to Kenya, back to
You truly can't make this stuff up. And it gets even kookier, because today he's a full-blown dominionist preacher, calling for religious rule over a country he barely managed to join legally. And if you didn't know, dominionism is the belief that Christians are biblically mandated to control every single sphere of society. Government, education, law, culture, all to prepare for the second coming. So in plain English, he believes that pastors should run the government, schools should teach the Bible instead of science, and anyone who disagrees is part of a Marxist plot to ruin the United States. So yeah, it's no surprise that young Rafael Jr., aka Ted, turned out the way that he did.